What's up, Bears Nation? Just when you thought the offseason couldn't get any more interesting, we've got some major news coming out of Hallis Hall. The Bears are eyeing Notre Dame's offensive line guru, Joe Rudolph. And let me tell you why this could be the game changer Chicago's been desperately searching for. Listen, I've been analyzing NFL trenches for years, and when I heard this news, I literally jumped out of my chair. You want to know why? Because Joe Rudolph isn't just any offensive line coach. He's an absolute trench warfare specialist. We're talking about a guy who's turned Notre Dame's offensive line into a fortress, and his fingerprints are all over some of the most dominant college offensive lines of the past decade. Let's break down why this matters so much for the Bears. Anyone who watched even 5 minutes of Bears football last season saw our franchise quarterback Caleb Williams running for his life. 68 sacks, people. 68! That's not just bad, that's emergency level bad. We're talking about potentially ruining a generational talent if we don't fix this offensive line yesterday. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Ben Johnson, our new head coach, is proving he's not messing around. He's already brought in Declan Doyle as offensive coordinator and snagged Dennis Allen for the defense. But this potential Rudolph hire, this could be his masterstroke. Let me paint you a picture of what Rudolph brings to the table. At Wisconsin, this man turned offensive line play into an art form. His lines weren't just good, they were bullies. They were technicians. They were everything the Bears' offensive line hasn't been. When you watched Wisconsin play, you knew exactly what was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. That's the kind of identity Chicago desperately needs. But here's what really gets me excited, Mike. Rudolph's development track record. This isn't just about scheme. This man knows how to develop talent. Look at the NFL draft boards over the years. You'll see his fingerprints all over first-round picks and Pro Bowl players. He takes raw talent and turns them into technical masters of the position. Now, let's talk about what this could mean for the Bears' immediate future. Ryan Poles is sitting on a gold mine of resources. We've got serious cap space, the 10th overall pick, and multiple picks in the top 50. Imagine combining Rudolph's coaching with elite talent like Trey Smith in free agency. Picture him developing a first-round tackle like Will Campbell or Kelvin Banks Jr. Speaking of free agency, let me break down why someone like Trey Smith would be a perfect fit. The Chiefs guard plays with the exact kind of nasty streak Rudolph loves. Add in Drew Dahlman at center, and suddenly you're looking at a completely revamped interior. These aren't just upgrades, they're culture changers. Here's something the casual fan might not realize. Offensive line play is contagious. When you get one guy playing with the right technique and attitude, it spreads. That's what makes Rudolph's potential hiring so crucial. He's not just teaching blocking schemes, he's installing a mindset. At Notre Dame, his lines played with a mean streak that would make the old monsters of the Midway proud. Let's talk technique for a second. What makes Rudolph's coaching so special is his attention to detail. We're talking about hand placement that's precise to the inch, pad level that would make a wrestling coach proud, footwork that looks like it belongs in a dance studio. These are the details that turn good linemen into great ones, and great ones into elite. The Bears' offense has too much potential to waste. DJ Moore is a legitimate WR1, the running game shows flashes, and Caleb Williams? This kid could be special if, and this is a big if, we keep him upright. That's where Rudolph comes in. His lines don't just protect quarterbacks, they give them confidence. When you know your blind side is locked down, you play differently. You stand taller in the pocket. You make better decisions. Here's another aspect that doesn't get enough attention: run game coordination. Rudolph's lines at Notre Dame didn't just pass protect, they created highways in the run game. We're talking about gap schemes that looked like they were run by synchronized swimmers. Zone runs where all 5 linemen moved like they shared one brain. That's the kind of coordination that turns good running backs into great ones. Now, let's talk about the draft. If the Bears land Rudolph, it could completely change their draft strategy. Suddenly, taking a tackle at 10 doesn't just mean adding talent, it means adding talent that will be developed by one of the best in the business. That's the kind of combination that turns good teams into great ones. I've watched enough NFL football to know that great offensive lines aren't built overnight, but with Rudolph, the Bears wouldn't just be getting a coach, they'd be getting an architect, someone who knows how to build something sustainable, something special. The timing couldn't be better. The NFC North is wide open, the Packers are young, the Vikings are rebuilding, and the Lions just lost their offensive coordinator. This is the Bears' chance to strike, to build something that could dominate the division for years to come. Think about the great Bears teams of the past. What did they all have in common? Toughness, identity, the ability to impose their will. That's exactly what Rudolph brings to the table. His lines don't just block defenders, they break their will. They make them quit. Let me tell you something about offensive line play that most fans don't realize. It's not just about talent, it's about trust. About knowing the guy next to you has your back. About 5 guys playing as one unit. That's what separates good offensive lines from great ones. And that's what Rudolph has proven he can build. The Bears have tried quick fixes before. They've thrown money at the problem. They've drafted players high. But what they haven't had is someone who can put it all together. Someone who can take 5 individuals and turn them into one unstoppable unit. This is why I'm so excited about this potential hire, because it's not just about fixing a problem, it's about building a foundation. It's about creating something that could define Bears football for the next decade. Here's my prediction. If the Bears land Rudolph, we're looking at a completely different offense in 2025. Not just better, different. An offense built on physicality, on technique, on wearing teams down and breaking their will. The kind of offense that made the Bears great in the first place. The pieces are there, the resources are there, the talent is there. Now it's just about putting it all together, and if there's one person who's proven he can do that, it's Joe Rudolph. Bears fans, this could be the start of something special. The kind of hire that doesn't just change a position group, it changes a franchise. The kind of hire that will look back on years from now and say, that's when everything changed. Remember, in the NFL, everything starts up front. You can have all the skill position talent in the world, but if you can't control the line of scrimmage, none of it matters. That's what makes this potential hire so crucial. It's not just about fixing a weakness, it's about turning it into a strength. So keep your eyes on Halas Hall, Bears fans. The next few weeks could shape the future of this franchise. And if Joe Rudolph ends up being the guy, well, let's just say the rest of the NFC North better watch out. Great teams are built in the trenches, and the Bears might just be about to land one of the best trench warfare specialists in the game. The future is bright in Chicago, and it all starts with the big guys up front.